Well, as we look at the officials, Rick, that's the Soviet official, I believe. Yes, it is.
Nikolai Morozov between Dan McCourt on the left and Mark Vines on the right. We're playing this one under NHL rules tonight.
Correct. Yeah, my experience with the Soviets, who played in '74 when I was with the World Hockey against them, it was a good, here's the Russian goaltender, Golashumov. He's getting a rare start tonight, Rick.
His international experience adds up to playing for the Soviets in the Junior World Championships back in 1983. And he just got his crack in this tour, playing in the third period against Pittsburgh Thursday. Mike Liut, who has won his last two in league play, is celebrating his 33rd birthday today, will start, and Peter Sidorkovich will oppose him. He'll pick up at the halfway point of the game.
But getting back to my experience quickly with the Soviets, I was a blitzing type goaltender and didn't think I could play that way against them, but I had to stay in my net. Well, but the first four shots went through me like bullets, right? So I decided I better blitz them.
Now this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the National Hockey League and is intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Hockey League and Sports Channel America is prohibited. Well, the Whalers will open up with John Anderson, Brian Lawton, and Jody Hull up front. Adam Burt just returning from the World Junior Tournament, playing for the U.S. club on defense. Igor Larionov with a shot blocked by the other Whaler defenseman, Ulf Samuelsson. Adam Burt steals a pass. Lawton plays it up the boards, and off Hull's stick, it's taken by Lawton. Soviets playing without Vladimir Krutov, their outstanding left winger. He was injured in that Pittsburgh game on Wednesday, the 4-2 loss to the Penguins, suffering a bruised tailbone in a collision with Chris Dahlquist, and he's not expected to play in tonight's, obviously not tonight, but also in their finale against the Sabres in Buffalo on Monday. Jody Hull works against Sergei Makarov. Plays it out to Fetisov, lets the shot go. It's blocked by John Anderson. Larionov finds Fetisov. It kicked off his skate, and it's tipped away by Burt. Igor Larionov plays it to Sergei Nemchinov, filling in for Krutov on that left side on the big KLM line, and the Whalers bring it back 2-on-1. John Anderson with Brian Lawton. The pass is blocked by Starikov, and the Soviets clear it down the ice. No icing as Sylvain Cote will give chase.
Rick, we might look at the Soviets right off the bat here and say, you know, they really don't have a jumper. They're uninspired. But it seems to me in this trip they've just played to the level of the opposition.
McDermott with a shot, and Golashumov bends that off with the blocker. In front, it's Ferraro with the back, and he scores! Ray Ferraro scores at the 128 mark, and it's 1-0 Whalers.
This opportunity was created by a blazing shot by Paul McDermott. The best way to check and get results in the other team's end is by a shot. This is the result of the goaltender Golashumov making the save. McDermott, no one is in front of the net. Ferraro gets his puck up quickly over the glove of Golashumov. 1-0 Whalers. Here's McDermott. I'll tell you, not only did he get the shot away to create this opportunity, but he went and took the body immediately. There's Ray Ferraro. See, once again, we talked at the start of the game, what can the Whalers get out of this? You know, you play the Soviets and you learn a lot of things about yourself. You know, they're one of the best teams in the world. There's no doubt about it. It just shows you've got to shoot from everywhere against everyone. Drive to the net or whatever. I know the one thing. Shots lead to forechecking, and forechecking leads to goal.
Vladimir Malikov with the pass. It's taken by Evgeny Davidov. Davidov, number 11, bothered by Dave Tippett. Alexander Chernik with a pass, and the Soviets move it out. Valery Zelepukin makes his move. His shot is deflected away by Randy Ledesur, and it lands over the glass and out of play. 12 years ago, the Whalers pulled an upset, to say the least, against the Soviet national club back on December 27, 1976, right here at the old Civic Center Coliseum. The Whalers won 5-2, and Larry Plow was on that club, the Whalers coach.
It really was. It was an exciting game, and the players, the fans, everybody in Hartford enjoyed it. But it was a game we scored a couple shot-handed goals, and as the game was over, I was going off the ice with Bill Friday, and he said to me, you know, we've just witnessed a miracle.
I guess so, with people like Ron Busniak and Dale Smedzmo in that Hartford lineup taking on the Soviet Nationals. They caught him in the first game of an 8-game tour against WHA competition, and I guess the Soviets had a little jet lag, but the Whalers were pumped for that one. Torrey Robertson seeing his first ice since November the 1st when he was injured. Suffered a broken right leg against the Montreal Canadiens. Koschekin drops it back. Shibadov with a shot that's fended off by Mike Liut. Seesaw with a pass in front. Babbitt with a hit on Konstantinov, who usually plays defense. He's up on left wing on his fourth line for the Soviets as it's played in deep by Dean Evison. Alexei Kasatonov rushed in there. He gets some help from Sergei Nemchinov, number 22. Kasatonov with a pass ahead. Makarov speeds through with a backhand. Coming back to steal the pass was Norm McIver. He was right with his man, Nemchinov. McIver weaves his way through. The pass is deflected behind Martin. We're under a delayed offside signal as Kasatonov fires the pass into McIver's skates. Whalers lead it 1-0 on the goal by Ferraro from Tippett and McDermott at 1:28. Adam Burt with a wrist shot off the glove of Golashumov. Alexei Gusarov was there to handle the rebound.
You gotta like the way the Whalers are playing. They've accepted this challenge with great intensity. They're playing a heck of an opening period here.
Gusarov takes the hit, but he makes the pass out to Nemchinov. Here comes Makarov cutting in on the wing. Gets it to Nemchinov, but he fires it just wide. He got a little on that one.
Got a lot in that one, Rick. That zing by the right post. Like I said in the opening, don't think they can't shoot.
He was promoted from one of the lesser lines on this club to fill in for the injured Vladimir Krutov. 1-0 Whalers in front here in the first period.
Torrey Robertson in his first shift back after a broken leg. He hasn't lost anything. He wipes out the linesman. Fetisov does it all again.
Here's Danny McCourt. Drops the puck between Vyacheslav Bykov, number 19, who's played immediately by Sivan Kote. Valery Kamensky, the man we told you about in the open, is on this line with Andrei Homatov. Mike Liut clears the puck. Kamensky works that corner to Homatov. It's to Bykov. This was the top line in the Soviet National League last year. They won the Trud Trophy, ending the 6-year reign of the KLM line for that award. Here's Bykov. Leads it back of the point. Stelnov shoots well wide of Liut. Ryan Lawton gathers it in. He's got Jody Hull skating ahead. 4 Soviets back. Homatov, who led that Soviet National League in goals last year with 29, finds Kamensky. Drops it. Bykov steps into one. A stick save on Liut. And Bykov fires it wide. Zelopyukin on a line change. Tries to step around Lawton. Throws it in the goal mouth. They score! It deflected off Mike Liut and in the net. Valery Zelopyukin gets the Soviets on the board. They tied at 5-12.
This seemed an innocent enough play, Rick, as you said. Zelopyukin was the first guy on his line getting off. This is going to go in off Randy Ladouceur, because all he tries to do is knock it out in the front. But Zelopyukin, the only man of his unit out there, he knows there's guys coming off the bench. He just wants to get out there. You see Randy Ladouceur dropping his right leg, goes in off his skate, and this ties the game up.
Zelopyukin with his second goal in this game 6 of the Soviet Central Red Army Tour.
But the Soviets don't get many goals like that, sort of flukish or luckies. They get a lot of pretty goals.
Zelopyukin again, and his shot this time is steered away by Liut. Davidoff works behind the net, throws it right through the goal mouth, and Paul McDermott gathers it in. We're tied at 1 now with 14:16 remaining in the first period. Fetisov is decked by Paul McDermott. Fetisov playing tonight with Starikov on defense. Davidoff flips it in for Koschekin. Pavel Koschekin looking for room to shoot. He's followed by Scott Planadors. Koschekin still hangs on to it, sets it up for Starikov. He shoots a pass save by Dave Tippett with that long rebound ahead for McDermott.
Paul McDermott is a force out there. He's had about 4 or 5 good hits. I'll tell you, I'm not so sure Fetisov wants the puck anymore in that neutral ice area where he got croaked.
Nice play by Adam Burt to pick the puck off the stick of Tiberov. Scott Young had it taken away by Koschekin. Igor Chibarov lets it go, and it's deflected away by the 19-year-old Burt. He'll turn 20 next week, and he gained valuable experience in that World Junior Tournament. He says it was just great to play again. He only appeared in 5 games with the Whalers earlier. Here's Dean Evison with a pass for Scott Young. He's met by Gusarov in that corner, number 5. Robertson takes it. Story trying to fire it in front. Evison was well tied up by Gusarov. Burt plays it at center. Young flips it in for the Whalers. Alexei Kasatonov, the outstanding veteran defenseman, out for Nemchinov. Makarov slows up the pace a bit. Larionov will circle with him. Soviet Player of the Year last season, Igor Larionov drops it by Makarov, and it's taken by Gusarov at center. Makarov has Gusarov racing in on the backhand, lets it go. Kicked out by Mike Liut, a tough backhand. Kamensky wrestles with old Samuelson. Valery Kamensky. As Samuelson's dumped on a pick by Makarov, here's a shot, a save by Liut. Kamensky picks it back up again. He's got Larionov on the backhand. He's decked by Randy Ledesser. Makarov with a shot, a save, and it's sent right to the goal mouth. They look for Kamensky, jamming at Liut. He makes the stop, and Mike Liut hangs on for the whistle. 11:55 to go in the first. We're tied at 1. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America. Channel America, Joe Nieuwendyk and the Calgary Flames travel to Edmonton to take on Yari Curry and the Edmonton Oilers at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Catch this great Smythe Division rivalry right here on Sports Channel America, the network of the National Hockey League. Beekhoff couldn't get the shot off, and it's taken by Brian Lawton. Randy Ledesser. Across to Sivan Cote. Whalers with a goal by Ray Ferraro from Tiffin and McDermott. Valery Zelepukin has tied this game up for the Soviets. Pass in front is deflected away. We've got a whistle, and I think we've got penalties to both teams upcoming from Morozov, the referee.
I was going to say, with Morozov as the referee, you won't see many power plays. If you do, there'll be about a 3-to-1 ratio in favor of the Soviets. Now, that's not being prejudice or anything like that. We're going to watch this little hook up in the corner between Cote and Hamatov. He's just going to give him roughing penalties or something like that. But, you know, he refereed one of the games at Rendezvous, and they're going to get high sticking calls, I guess. But he refereed one of the great games at Rendezvous, and the penalty ratio was, or the power play ratio, 3 for the Soviets, 0 for the National Hockey League All-Star team. So I don't think the Whalers can expect many power plays this evening.
Well, they've been alternating referees in this series between National Hockey League referees. And Morozov, who travels the Central Red Army, has for many years on international competition. Jody Hull racing for loose puck, and he's stopped by Golashubov. Jody Hull racing in there as the teams continue. 5 aside on the coincidental penalties. That goal by Zelepukin, by the way. An unassisted goal is Scott Kleinendorf. Works along the boards. Brian Lawton reaches for the puck. Gets it back to Kleinendorf with 9 minutes gone here in the opening period. 20-year-old Valery Zelepukin plays it to Starikov on defense. Starikov and Makarov, the only Soviet players left on the Red Army team who competed in that 1979 Challenge Cup series.
Quiet.
You don't want to be reminded. Here's Davidoff in alone. He scores! Davidoff with a shot. It appeared they hit the crossbar, hit Liut and bounce in. But Davidoff with a quick shot has put the Soviets in front 2-1.
I think this shocked everyone by being onside, Rick. Davidoff comes in, and we heard the sound up here. It did go off Mike Liut and up top quickly. But it did hit the crossbar. We could hear the noise up here.
Well, it got in under the crossbar right away. Evgeny Davidoff.
You know, he put everyone to sleep in that, Rick. Everyone in the rink, including the Whalers, thought this was an offside situation. The whistle didn't go. Davidoff slowed down, and no one caught him. I mean, he didn't have any speed going in there. He is not one of their great skaters.
That's his 3rd goal of the tour, and it's 2-1 Soviets. Dave Tippett, and it's pried away by Koschekin. Tippett gets it right back again. He'll dump it in. Kasatonov gets back for it. Ostikin fires it across for Konstantinov. Vladimir Konstantinov with a wrist shot, a save by Liut. Ostikin, Gusarov, big drive, he scores! Gusarov with a blast by Mike Liut, and the Soviets score twice quickly to lead now 3-1.
Well, that was a rocket, the shot by Gusarov, Rick. The puck is going to go right off Mike Liut. It's going to end up to the point rather quickly. You'll see Stelanov get the puck to Gusarov, and he just drives this baby right through Liut's legs. You know, the first 5 minutes of this game were all Whalers. Now it's all Soviet right here. This is a bullet shot. Goes through a lot of people, but it had plenty of zing on it.
Gusarov with his first goal of the tour. He scores at 9:59, and just past the midway point. It's 3-1 Soviets. Malikov. Out for Nemchinov. Rink wide pass knocked away by Randy Ladouceur. Ladouceur pokes it back inside that Soviet line. Makarov gives it to Malikov. A rangy youngster on the Soviet defense gets some help from Nemchinov. 13-year veteran Makarov. Cutting in, it's Stelnoff, the defenseman. Makarov coming up late. Backhander. They score! It was deflected in. Out in front of the goal by Nemchinov. As he got a piece of Larionov's backhander. And it's now 4-1 Soviets.
Well, Nemchinov getting a chance in this line with the injury to Kruto. He finds himself all alone in front of the net. He's just going to deflect this little pass by Larionov. And this makes it 4-1 Soviets. I mean, this isn't great Soviet hockey or anyone. It's a breakdown by the Whalers as no one is in front of the net. And when you play anyone, you should have someone in front of the net, one of your own defensemen. But when you play the Soviets, someone better be there. There's a young player, Sergei Nemchinov, who gets a chance in this great line. Larionov and Makarov. It's the same over there as here. You give them a chance, they want to stay in that big line.
3 goals in a minute 26, and the Soviets had exploded into a 4-1 lead. And it's Fetisov with a long pass that kicked off Jody Hull's skates. And the 19-year-old Hull gets it back to Babbage. He sends it over 2 lines off Tommy Martin's stick, and we get the whistle. 4-1 now. The Soviets in front. 8:47 to go in the first period. We pause now for a regional break. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America.
Rick, if Larry Plow wanted to bottle a way to start a game, he bottled tonight's game. That first 5 minutes of the Whalers, he'd want to start against that way against anyone. But the last 8-9 minutes has just been lopsided. The bottom's fallen out for the Whalers. Just unbelievable breakdowns in their own zone.
4-1 Soviets. The goal by Davidoff got the streak going for the Central Red Army. He scored at 9:22, Gusarov at 9:59, and then Nemchinov at 10:48. And the Soviets knocking at the door. Homatov shoots, save by Mike Liut. He dove out to stop a Beacon. Gustarakov with a shot, it's deflected wide. Oh, runs into Homatov, and Ulf Samuelsson starts it back. The puck deflects to Brent Peterson. Martin gives chase, rolls it toward the net. And go to Shumov, who's been lonely at that Soviet end for the last few minutes. Turns it aside, and the Red Army starts up the ice ahead. As it's Bikov, he's double-teamed. It's taken now by Zedapjukin. He's run out by Randy Ladouceur, effectively. Sivan Kote played against the Soviets in the World Junior Tournament a couple of years ago for Team Canada, made the All-Star team, and like Adam Burt, found it to be a very valuable experience. He goes against the Soviets tonight. Torrey Robertson with a pass in front, taken away by Zedapjukin. Out ahead for Davidoff. Talented Evgeny Davidoff. Stops quickly. Kasatonov with a shot deflected away by Ladouceur, and it's taken by Robertson. Clearing attempt knocked down. It's saved by Chernik. He had it poked away by Sivan Kote. Whalers working out the center. John Anderson feeds Torrey Robertson. Kasatonov is back. Robertson fires in the goal mouth. Lawton couldn't battle his way through a couple of Soviets. It's pried away by Gusarov. He cuts in on Scott Kleinendorf. Gusarov drops it back for Davidoff. Here's the Casatonov with a backhander that's wide. Robertson pokes it ahead to Brian Lawton. Soviets will start again at center. They'll take some time to allow for a line change. The Whalers make a change as well. Ferraro, McDermott, and Dave Tippett come on, the unit that has produced the Whaler goal. And Ferraro, who has that goal, feeds McDermott. He's met. And it's Cheeberov. He gives it to Konstantinov. Long drive off Liut's pad. The rebound, Kostikin shoots, and it's off the skate of Norm McIver. From the point, Malakoff shoots, saved by Liut. The puck comes down to Kostikin, and Liut was there to make that stop. Soviets all over the Whalers again. Ray Ferraro steams back. Three Soviets are back defensively. Igor Stelnov steps ahead. Couldn't feed it through to Konstantinov. Igor Larionov. Pass to Makarov. Pounded by McIver. Yenchinov scored the fourth Soviet goal. Drops it back to Vyacheslav Fetisov. Here's Makarov. He's watched by Evason. Fetisov on a drive and a stick save by Mike Liut. Fetisov again. And the pass is blocked by Evason. Leads it on to John Anderson. 3-on-2. Anderson looking for Young. The poor pass is brought back by the Soviets. Larionov had it knocked away at the Whaler defense. Dean Evason stick handles in, and it's swept off his stick by Starikov. The Whalers are forced to retreat. It'll be an icing called against the Soviets. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the first period, and the Central Red Army leads 4-1. We pause now for a regional break. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America.
Rick, watching Fetisov, the great Soviet defenseman, he's tough to pick out amongst that group. That's a pretty good group of defensemen. They all got the same traits there. They lumber for a while, then they dart to a good open spots. They can all shoot like they got howitzers, all of them as a group.
Fetisov, this is his 13th season with the Red Army. In the previous 12, they've won the championship in that Soviet National League. That's no coincidence. Kasatonov, Fetisov's longtime defense partner until this season, on the ice number 6, and it's Valery Kamensky. It's 22. He gives it to Homatov. Pass is picked up by Martin. Back for Peterson. Jody Hull up the off wing, drops it back for Martin. He's chased by Homatov. Martin gets right back up into the play. His pass kicked off Beekoff's skate. Kote looks for Hull. And it's played away at the Soviet defense. Gusarov with a pass ahead for Beekoff. Homatov. Across to Kamensky. Cuts in front. Shoots, and it's deflected away by Nanasur. Gusarov keeps it in for the Soviets. Little Beekoff at 5'8", 174. Plays it in behind the net to Homatov. Kamensky was well covered by Kote. And it's lifted down the ice by Jody Hull. Well, Shumov, who is not the Central Red Army regular goaltender, Vladimir Mishkin is the goaltender for that club, but he's not on this tour. And Sergei Milnikov and Golashumov is the netminder. Zelapukit is held up by Kleinendorst and McIver. Out to the point. Stelnov kept it in. Zelapukit, who has a goal in this first period. Robertson picked it off his stick. Torrey with a pass to Scott Young. The pass was deflected after defense by Malakoff, and the play is offside. 3:13 remaining here in the first period. It's 4-1 in favor of the Central Red Army. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America.
It's a broken leg, as we mentioned earlier. Going to have to get the wheels going pretty quick to stay up with this quick Soviet team. But I'll tell you, he's skating pretty good, Rick. Before he got hurt, he was skating as good as I've ever seen him skate.
He was joking in the last week that he was saving himself for international competition. But then he said that against the Soviets, he said they'll probably skate by me so fast I'll just screw myself into the ground. All you'll see is my helmet left on the ice. Just try to turn and follow him.
He's doing all right, though. He's getting in there.
Norm McIver feeds Robertson. It's swept away by Big Malakoff, who goes 6'3", 195. A lanky defenseman, just 20 years old. Alexander Chernik. The lead pass is by Konstantinov. McIver racing forward, gets there in time for the icing call against the Red Army. We'll return with more first period action with the Soviets in front 4-1 after this. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America.
4-1 Soviet Red Army. The goaltender, Golashumov, Rick, he does not even come out to the rectangular crease, the old rectangular crease. He hides in there and he's relying on his reflexes. A little later on we'll talk about their goaltending situation in the Soviet Union. But I think the Whalers, no matter where they have the puck, should be shooting this guy. He is not a top-notch goaltender.
Adam Burt with a drive, stick save by Golashumov, who plays in the regular season with Spartak Moscow. Milnikov, their other netminder with this club, plays for Traktor Chelyabinsk in his hometown. Here's the pass in front for Konstantinov. He couldn't take it, and it's poked away by Adam Burt, and he said hello to Vyacheslav Fetisov. Back with the puck, it's Dave Tippett. Chased by Chibarev. Igor Chibarev working on him as Adam Burt takes it. The Whalers' second-round pick in '87 angles the puck in. Fetisov, the 30-year-old. The pass, it kicks off Konstantinov and down the ice. They had been paired defensively together throughout earlier games in this tour. Soviets coming in at 3-1-1, the Central Red Army Club, on their tour into this match, and they conclude their play against the Buffalo Sabres on Monday night at the Odd in Buffalo. Ray Ferraro with a pass to John Anderson. Lets it go, and it sails over the net. 1:12 remaining in the opening period. Whalers drew first blood in this game, but the Soviets have roared back with 4 in a row. Evison has to hightail it back. Dino's on with Anderson and Tom Martin in front of Babbage and Cote. Here's the pass for Martin. Going to make his move on Kasatonov. Gusara can't sneak it past Sivan Cote. Evison leaves it behind the net. Anderson one-handed in front, and Makarov is there. The 10-time Soviet All-Star makes the pass to Kasatonov. Back to Makarov on the backhand. Leaves it for Larionov. Tom Martin works the corner along with Dave Babbage. Evison with 26 seconds to go in the period clears it out, and Kasatonov, and the Soviets will reorganize at center.
They're just having a little team back now with 18 seconds left, and they'll take one last rush here. They'll try and spring someone.
Ladiseur knocks down the pass. Malikov with 5 seconds remaining in the period. Larionov is knocked down by Torrey Robertson. Here's Jody Hull. He runs out of room against Malikov, and the whistle blows, ending the first period of play. Well, the Whalers scored first, but the Soviets took over from there. The shots, the Soviets 15, Hartford 7, and the scoring summary, Ferraro scoring from Tippett and McDermott at 1:28, then Valery Zelepukin unassisted at 5:12. Evgeny Davidoff with a goal from Starikov at 9:22, and the Soviets scored their first of 3 goals in the span of a minute 26. Alexei Gusarov scored from Koschekin and Konstantinov at 9:59. 4-1 score to the Soviet Central Red Army. Jerry, a 3-goal deficit is a lot to make up against any team, much less the Red Army. The Whalers have a hope in this.
I think so, and I think we're looking at the hope, number 30, Golashumov, Rick. He doesn't impress me at all. Maybe I'm crazy, and he didn't have much work after the first 5 minutes. But he sure plays deep in the net, and I think the Whalers should be aware of this. And every time they get the puck inside the blue line, their first spot should be to shoot it on the net and go to the net. Like I said, shots lead to loose pucks in the corners, and leads to forechecking and opportunities. But one thing they can't get caught up in, if they hope to get back in this game, is those fancy passes like maybe the Russians are doing tonight. The reason the Russians are doing it because the Whalers are standing still.
As we start the second period, it's Vyacheslav Fetisov on defense. He feeds Larionov. Starikov with a pass. Ends up with Nemchinov. He had one of the goals, as you saw that deflection in front of the net to make it 4-1 late in the first period. Fetisov's pass dug away by Tippett, and the play is whistled offside. Fetisov drills Dave Tippett, who didn't take kindly to that. He gives Fetisov a shot. McDermott steps in there, and the officials calm everybody down.
Davey Tippett's a class guy. This is an offside, a late offside. You're going to see it develop right here as it's one of the Whalers already in. Now that's a fade that's gone. The whistle is gone. Now, this is when Fetisov hits Tippett, knocks him down. This is a cheap shot. The whistle went. Now, Tippett, he could crank him right here, but he's just going to give him a little shot to say, hey, listen, buddy, you were wrong. And then comes McDermott and Ladouceur. Who knows, maybe in a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, when we play the Devil, when the Whalers play the Devils, we'll have a shot at Fetisov. I don't think so, though.
That's the big sidebar following the Soviets around on this tour is the status of Fetisov. He's apparently been given clearance to play by everybody involved except the Army. As the shot is deflected away, Tippett was knocked over in front as he bumped Golashubov on the collision with Starikov. And a serve with a shot that's wide. Starikov, 215-pounder, works Tippett out of there, and Fetisov pinned by Paul McDermott, who's had his number pretty much all evening on the physical end of things. Here's Makarov trying to swing it on Ladouceur. Does, waits, feeds it to Kasatonov, and the shot went wide. Makarov passed up a golden opportunity to shoot there.
2 or 3 times. He found his defenseman coming in, and that's who he finally passed it to after being in the garden spot for 3 or 4 seconds.
We get the whistle of the icing call. We've played a minute 17, and it's 4-1 favoring the Red Army.
See Sergei Makarov, the great Soviet player. He's old. He's not even going to shoot there. He's going to get it back to Kasatonov. And look from up here, not only on the replay for the shot that it went in, but it deflected wide.
Here's a shot that sails wide. Kamensky pinned against the boards by Ulf Samuelsson. Jody Hull works the puck to John Anderson. And the Soviets play it back inside the line. Offside. Jerry, we talked about the goaltending situation in the Soviet Union. We'll get to that in just a moment. Tonight's sports fan call question. Would you like to see the NHL adopt an automatic ejection penalty for fighting? If your vote is yes, call 1-900-300-6311. If your vote is no, 1-900-300-6312. Each call costs 75 cents, and portion of the proceeds will go to the Armenian Relief Fund. So we invite you to participate in that tonight. Beekhoff with a shot that's deflected out of play. The name Vladimir Tretiak was synonymous with excellence, and of course he was the great goalie of the Soviet teams in the 70s, but they have not been able to come up with anyone close to match his excellence in net since. What do you think that has been such a problem?
First of all, Rick, I think as we look at the Soviet coach, the guy on the far side, I should point out before he ends this, Boris Mikhailov, number 13 in the great old Soviet team. The least of the skilled players of the Soviet, but I'll tell you, he had all the heart. Number 13, Boris Mikhailov, now assisting. I'll get back to that goaltending thing after.
He's assisting Viktor Tikhonov as Golashubov will hang on to the puck.
Like you see, Tretiak, I mean, he was obviously the finest goaltender in the Soviet Union. And he was a very conservative type goaltender, big man, something like Terry Sawchuk type crouch and style and all that. And he never wandered from his net. He was something special, as you said. And I think they've based all their goaltenders since Tretiak on him. They have to play like him. And everyone's different, maybe not in the Soviet Union. But, you know, the little goaltender for Dynamo Riga, Artur Irby, he's a crazy little guy. He falls out, handles the puck and everything. I don't know how he's going to last. 2-1 Soviets.
The late penalty upcoming to Torrey Roberts, and the shot, they score! Alexander Chernik drills it home. He just hung on to it all the way down the ice and drilled it by Mike Liut. There will be no power play as the Soviets go up 5-1.
Well, this is a 2-on-1, Rick. We'll see right here. I was yapping away, but Chernik takes the pass coming out of their end. You'll see the Whaler defenseman Babbage. He plays it all right. He forces Chernik to shoot, and this goes right between Michael Liut's legs. He took just a little peek over to his partner over there, and he says, I better shoot this because good chance that Babbage will block the pass. Babbage did play it pretty properly, I thought, except Chernik was a left-handed shot coming down the right side.
And the Soviets love to take advantage of that shooting angle, and Chernik did just that with his first goal of the tour at 2:09 in the second period to make it 5-1. Malakoff on the Soviet defense. Lipukin plays it back to Malakoff. As the errant pass sails the length of the ice, Planadorst is back, one of an icing called against the Red Army. Red Army leads it 5-1 early here in the second period. Next goal has the Soviets in front by 4. MacGyver on that face-off of the Whalers. And it's Konstantinov on the weave, leaves it for Koschekin. His shot is off the blocker of Mike Liut. MacGyver throws it ahead. We get a whistle. And Morozov is calling for a play to be brought back. I think he thought we had a hand pass going there as Stelnov got the only assist on that Chernik goal.
The referee was kind to the Whalers there. MacGyver had closed his hand in the glove and skated maybe 10 or 12 feet. Rather than give him a penalty, he just decided to call it a glove pass.
Larry experimenting with his lineup tonight. As we told you, Kevin Dineen is out. He suffered from a stomach ailment known as Crohn's disease last year, and he's had a mild flare-up of that again. He's on some medication, and they've told him to stay off skates for 3 days. He'll rejoin the Whalers in NHL action Tuesday night in Winnipeg. MacGyver is upended by Fetisov. Whalers with Ron Francis, whose weight is down as a result of the flu, and Joel Quenneville, bothered by flu symptoms. Also missing from the game tonight. Sedancote makes the pass ahead for Tommy Martin. He'll angle it across. Brent Peterson. Fetisov back to control that corner. Chibarev cuts away from MacGyver. Igor Chibarev. Stick handles through. Cote plays the man well, and Liut works the puck to Randy on a serve. Peterson starts it in. Pass is stolen by Alexei Gusarov. Konstantinov will just dump it in. Soviets want to complete a line change, and when they do that, it means forwards and defense. The entire unit is replaced. Dave Tippett is on the ice with McDermott and Ferraro. Here's McDermott on the shot, and it's gloved by Golashumov. He'll hang on to it. We've played just over 4 minutes. Here in the second period, it's 5-1. The Red Army in front. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America.
MacGyver, defenseman playing center tonight, is going to get welcomed to the forward lines by a great hip check by Fetisov. Boy, that was a classic.
McDermott to Adam Bird, who had 3 shots on net in the first period, had another one. Ferraro poking at that rebound. It comes loose. Gusarov gets it away from Dave Tippett out to Nemchinev. Adam Bird on the Whaler defense. Big hit by McDermott. That's the 3rd or 4th Soviet he's punched tonight. Kasatonov lugs it into the Whaler zone, hooks it back in front. Makarov with a shot, and it's blocked by McDermott. Tippett hooked from behind by Kasatonov. Long drive by McDermott is kicked away by Golashumov. Larionov's clearing attempt stolen, and Bird sends it in wide. John Anderson there to play it. Gusarov takes control. Get some stick action between Kasatonov and Ferraro going as the Soviets clear it down the ice. No icing. Jerry, it looks like the Whalers want to get a little more physical in this second period. They forced Larionov into a rare mistake there.
But certainly they got to play the body. They got to stay away from, they're keeping the sticks down, obviously, because that'll draw some penalties. But if they get a chance, they got to take the body. Slow the Soviet team down somewhat.
5:15 gone here in the second period. The Red Army in front, 5-1. Vyacheslav Bykov to Homatov. He's got Malikov cutting in. Saved by Liut as he just got a piece of it. Anderson's pass stolen by Homatov. Whaler penalty upcoming. Jody Hall touches the puck, and Morozov signals tripping, and the Whalers will be short-handed for the first power play of the hockey game.
Dave Babbage, he got caught in an awkward position here as the pass was intercepted. See right here, there's the trip. There's no doubt about that. As Homatov, they would have had a 3-and-1 in there. Babbage had no other thing to do than to trip him. He's shaking his head at it.
So our first look at the Red Army power play that went 1 for 7 against the Penguins in Pittsburgh on Wednesday night. Whalers, of course, near the top in penalty killing efficiency, ranking 3rd at 83.5% shorthanded.
This will certainly be a good test. We're going to see some good puck movement, good body movement.
Malikov to Kamensky. The shot by Bykov. He scores. Vyacheslav Bykov. Wow, you talk about great passing and great shooting. Bykov made no mistake, and it's 6-1.
That was certainly good puck movement. It was 5 seconds when the puck was dropped. You're going to watch Bykov when he kicks the puck back to the point. He's going to go right into the slot area. And you'll see this great pass right here, and he just tees it up and whips it by Liut. No chance for Mike Liut. 5 seconds. The faceoff was inside the blue line. Here it is again. You see Bykov right below play. Once again, as Dennis Potvin says, Rick, they sure are shooting the puck well, I'll tell you. They got a good batch of sticks in this trip.
John Anderson trying to get one back. Sylvain Cote races and shoots a save by Golashumov, who came out a bit out of his crease to stop Cote there. Davidoff gives it to Zelepukin. He's chased by Brian Lawton. It's poked away by Jody Hall. 3 Soviets are back. Hall on the weave. Bumped by Davidoff. They both go flying, and Ladouceur takes it. Leaves it for Hall. Starikov couldn't sneak it past Anderson. Hall in front. The backhander's just wide. And it's in the equipment of Starikov, and Anderson was poking away at it. Morozov blows the whistle. 13:44 remaining here in the second period. 6-1, the Soviets in front. We pause for a regional break. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America. Olympic team last season. Of course, he knows what these Soviets can do as the Whalers trying to get a goal back here. But Young faced them last winter, and he knows some of the pitfalls that you can fall into playing the Soviet Union, and told them about us earlier tonight.
Well, I think playing the Soviets, you're playing the best team in the world, and one of the things they want you to do is play at a speed that you're not used to playing at. They want you to be so excited to play the game that you're playing at a speed you're not used to playing at, and they're used to playing at, and that forces you to make mistakes, and they capitalize on them.
I can't argue with Scott, Rick, because the Whalers have made about 6 mistakes tonight, and it's 6-1. Meanwhile, I was very critical of goaltender Golashumov, and he's made about 3 or 4 good saves tonight in the second period, since I was, giving it to him a little bit. Maybe it was a pep talk.
Now the Soviets scored just a few seconds into their first power play opportunity. They get their second one here. Bykov scored from Kamensky and Malikov at 5:39. Bykov with his 4th goal of this 7-game tour. This game 6 tonight. Konstantinov with a drive off the glove of Liut. Kibarov with a pass around for Kostikin. Pavel Kostikin. Out to Gusarov, shooting deflected, save by Liut. Konstantinov got a piece of that drive. Asatonov works the point for the Soviets. Pass to the goal now, just past Konstantinov, and it's taken away by Brent Peterson. He and Dave Tippett start it back. Tippett gets it on goal, and the Whalers will change up shorthanded. Scott Young comes out. He'll join Peterson in front of Ladouceur and Babbitt. Marianov, drop pass, Makarov. Young forces him as the pass goes to Gusarov. Asatonov gave it up to Scott Young, who couldn't clear it away, though. And the Soviets will start it at center with 37 seconds remaining on the Ulf Samuelsson call for hooking. Nemchinov drops it back. Asatonov. Makarov lurking on that far side, and the pass across to Larionov. He let it go right off the pass, and he missed the net.
It's a pretty good play, and how many times have they tried that? Makarov and Larionov.
And it's 5'9" Sergei Makarov to Larionov. Fetisov is on the power play now with the final few seconds. Fetisov with a shot deflected away. It's swept by Kleinendorf to the blue line. The penalty's over. Larionov, quick pass is deflected away as Nemchinov was looking for Makarov in front of the goal. Babbitt checked by Makarov. Larionov touches the puck, and the play is whistled offside.
Rick, watching the great player Sergei Makarov, right? I'm trying to feel who he reminds me of in the National Hockey League, and he's somewhat different. He's got great hands, great quickness, stops on a dime, great intelligence. He's just a great player, and I can't really compare him to any of the great players in the NHL. Maybe Savard a little bit. I don't know. Maybe the great players aren't compared to anyone else.
And he stands alone at 5'9", 183. Not very big, but as you mentioned, he darts all over the place, and kind of an example of the Soviets maybe of years past, whereas now they're going with more size up front. Doesn't look like they've lost any finesse at all with some of these young, bigger forwards that Viktor Tikhonov has in his lineup, and are playing in the Soviet National League. Now Martin storms in for a loose puck. He's dumped. Dean Evison flips it in front. Golashumov played it away. There's Little Bikov at 5'8", 174. His pass is right on the tape to Kamensky. Hote wrestles him off the puck. Dean Evison. Igor Stelnov is back. He's checked by McIver. Martin whirls it out in front. Malikov was in position. Evison tries to chip the goalmouth pass, and it went wide. McIver. Stelnov works it away. Evison shovels it back to McIver. Into the blue line at Samuelson. They can't find him, though. Here's Robertson shooting, and it's kicked away by Stelnov. Stelnov dumped by Dean Evison. And the Soviets moving ahead. Kamensky lost the puck at the blue line. The Whalers clear it. Here's Robertson. Ferraro's with him. Ray Ferraro, goalmouth pass. They score! Torrey Robertson deflects it in, and the Whalers trail now 6-2.
Because the puck left the Soviet Union, Torrey Robertson just decked number 21, Igor Stelnov. He is saving the back. You can see him at the top of the screen. He's just getting up. He doesn't know where he is. But meanwhile, a great pass by Ferraro. And there's Torrey Robertson as it goes off the crossbar. I do not believe this was in originally. I think it had a hit Golashumov and go in. But look at 21. He just got to his feet. Let's see if it originally went in. It's going to go off the crossbar. No, it didn't. There it is. That's finally crossed the line. As it went off the crossbar, hit the back of goaltender Golashumov. And it's 6-2. But the ironic part about this, Robertson just decked Igor Stelnov, and the play left the Soviet zone. And you can see at the top of your screen, Stelnov, he was in the twilight zone somewhere going, what's happening? And he got turned around, and Torrey ended up getting up. There he is, just getting up. Stelnov, and he has no idea what's going on. He's hurting a little bit. I don't think he'll be back playing. Look at Torrey. He wants to give another shot right there. I like that one. Oh, they're changing goaltenders now, Rick.
Peter Sidorkovich is warming up as he takes over for Mike Liut at the 10:13 mark of the second period. Liut faced 19 shots and stopped 13 of them in that span. Sidorkovich, of course, a rookie with the Whalers, and what an impressive first half of the regular season he's had here.
Certainly is. He's wearing new pads tonight, those big white pads. To be truthful, I don't like them. They're kind of high in Peter. One of his positives in this first half of the season was the quickness of his legs, and I don't know if he's going to be able to move very quick with these new pads on tonight. But hey, if you got to wear them, you might as well start them tonight. These goals don't count as goals against.
Peter,
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Peter is Polish-born from Brown Białystok, and he says his family's more interested in the Soviets facing the Whalers tonight than he is, as we look at Stelnov, and he is indeed hurting.
He is hurting. I thought it was Torrey. I guess it was Dean Evans that drove him one. Looks like he fell on his hip or something. Now he's seeing this play develop, and he's giving it all he's got to get out there. But where's he going? Nowhere. As you see Torrey Robinson on the right side, deflected up and in. I didn't think the original shot went in, but from up here we could see it hit the back of Golashumov's glove and bounce over the line. That's the first mistake the goaltender's made this period, Rick. And matter of fact, in the 6 or 7 shots he's had, he's been rather solid. It shows you what I know about goaltending.
I don't know about that. Well, Torrey Robertson from Ferraro and Samuelson gets the Whalers on the board at 10-13. And I was saying about Sidorkovich, he and his family emigrated from Poland while Peter was the age of 3. And he says it really doesn't mean anything extra to him to be playing the Soviets, but perhaps his parents would like to see the Whalers trump the Central Red Army. Well, they're going to have to go some to do that tonight as McDermott dumps it in.
Down in the press room, cabbage rolls tonight.
Here's Kasatonov, 3-on-2 for the Red Army. Kasatonov looking for Chernik. McDermott back to Ferraro. McDermott shoots and it's blocked at the defense. Gusarov takes over. Gets it back from Davidoff. Gusarov looks for Davidoff, and he was hooked away from the pass by Dave Babbitt. Paul McDermott. With Brian Lott with him. McDermott shoots a save by Golashubov. McDermott yanked to the ice. The Soviets will be penalized. This will be the first Whaler power play of the game coming up on the penalty to Starikov. Once again, our sports fan call question: would you like to see the National Hockey League adopt an automatic rejection penalty for fighting? If your vote is yes, 1-900-300-6311. If your vote is no, 1-900-300-6312. The cost of the call is 75 cents. A portion of the proceeds will go to the Armenian Relief Fund. That is if you are in favor or not of an automatic ejection penalty from games for fighting.
Well, the Whalers will have a chance on the power play as Starikov did get the hooking call on Paul McDermott, who's been one of the more physical, aggressive Whalers this evening. There we look at Sergei Starikov. In fact, I think a good ploy or a good philosophy or attitude by the Whalers right now is, you know, regardless of what happens for the next 38 minutes, let's try to stop the Soviets from scoring. Maybe we'll get beat 6-2, but let's have a good second half here. You know, we're in a tough division here, the Adams division. Nothing is solidified yet. So let's just make sure we play a good, solid defensive game.
Whalers with Lawton, Hull, and Anderson up front of the power play. Young and McIver are the point men. Here's Young to McIver, winds it around to John Anderson. Konstantinov works the puck away. McIver back at center. McIver, who's averaged a point per game, so has Lawton since coming to the Whalers from the New York Rangers on the day after Christmas. The deal for Kerry Wilson. Don Maloney, of course, was also acquired in that trade. He's been out with a broken left clavicle. Cody Hall. A minute and a half remaining on the penalty to Starikov. Anderson. The pass intercepted. The Soviets take over. Sergei Makarov drops it back to Konstantinov. Finish last Fetisov. Larionov, the fourth penalty killer, on the ice for the Central Red Army. And Fetisov will take his time and kill some clock. Makarov. Tripped up by Norm McIver, and the great stick-handling talents of the Soviet Union force the Whalers to take a call as McIver will go to the box, and that will leave each team a man short for 103.
Well, they had Larionov and Makarov on the ice, and these are two talented players, and they were just toying with the Whalers, even though they're a man short. McIver finally takes Makarov to the ice, and the teams will be even. This should be a treat for the next minute and 3 seconds, 4-on-4 with the Soviet. We're going to watch Jody Hall, Rick, and this is one of the problems the Whalers have with him. They don't think he's aggressive enough. Now watch here as Konstantinov goes behind the net, and he is just croaked by Jody Hall. That's what Jody has got to do more if he wants to get more ice time with the Whalers.
Suffering the worst damage was one of our ice-level microphones mounted on the glass behind the net. Gusarov, the team's at even strength. Omaton. Kasatonov shoots a save by Peter Sidorkovich. A rising drive for his first shot from the Red Army. Adam Burt moves it ahead to Wolf Samuelson. Ferraro takes over. Ray with a goal-handed assist for the Whalers tonight, trailing 6-2 with 7:12 to go in the second period. Wolf Samuelson handles the puck. It's stolen away by Andrei Holmatov. Samuelson lost his stick. It's flipped back to him by Paul McDermott. Adam Burt chops it away to Ferraro. He's double-teamed. Kasatonov lifts it back. Soviets now on the power play for the third time. We got a whistle for an offside against the Whalers as the penalty to Starikov has expired. Soviets connecting on their first power play chance as we look at Alexei Gusarov.
Rick, the second Soviet power play, the Soviets elected to go with their 4th unit of Konstantinov, Koschekin, and Chibarev, and they're right back on there. I know it's 6-2 and everything. I'm not so sure they'd be on there if it was a 2-2 game. As we look at Koschekin.
He's 20 years old. He's a Winnipeg Jet draft pick, taken in the 10th round of 1988. Like Kamensky, one of the big youngsters in the forward line, goes 6'2", 198. He's out there with Kamensky. Brent Peterson flips the puck to the point. It's kept on the line by Konstantinov. 35 seconds remaining on the tripping call to Norm McIver. Dave Tippett is bumped by Konstantinov. Chibarev leaves it for Konstantinov. The sticks going between Tippett and Chibarev. Malakoff maneuvers away from Peterson.
Boy, this young Malakoff, number 7, he's just a youngster. Boy, he's a big, tall, slinky guy. He got some skills.
Time winding down on the Soviet power play. Here's a shot by Malakoff, a save by Sidorkovich. The rebound bounces away to Peterson. Returning is McIver. Zarakov takes it for the Soviets. Whalers get a fresh line on. Alexander Chernik with a goal in the second period, dropping it for Davidoff, worked away by Kote. Edison will take on Fetisov, looks for Robertson, backhands it off the stick of Golashumov. The Whalers' secret weapon in this game, Torrey Robertson. Here's a pass deflected in the goal mouth off the Soviet, as Young was the man who put it in front. Fetisov hands it away to Emerson. Young with a backhander, deflected wide by Fetisov. Vyacheslav Fetisov will move it ahead. The Soviets come out. Chernik looks for Koschekin, shooting, and he sails it over Sidorkovich's head. Back comes Young. Big drive, saved by Golashumov, and Fetisov there for the rebound. Whalers will start again at center under 5 minutes to go in the second. They trail 6-2.
Hey, Robertson, has been one of the better Whalers tonight. There's no doubt about it. Fetisov and him had a little toe-to-toe down there, eyeball to eyeball, and Fetisov really knew what to do. Torrey did, though.
Nemchinov circles around Kleinador, throws it in the goal mouth, and Sidorkovich kicked it out. Here comes Peterson. Martin races into the corner. It's poked away by Kasatonov. Martin loves it ahead, but Gusarov takes over. Spins it out to the 24-year-old Nemchinov. He plays for the Soviet Wings during the regular season in that Soviet National League. So he's really enjoying an opportunity to play in the famed line, KLM line, without Mr. Krutov on left wing tonight.
Okay.
Brent Peterson works the corner for the Whalers. Flips away from Gusarov. Goal mouth try, they score! It hit Tommy Martin as he was decked in the net by Larionov. And Morozov, the referee, is waving off the goal. Brent Peterson is arguing.
Not going. I don't know what he said there, but you can see by his hand motion he did wave it off. Well, watch how it is. Brent Peterson's going to put the puck in front. How could he not count this? This is awful. This is highway robbery. He should be going to jail. This hit Larionov. So watch number 8, Larionov in front of the net as he's back. This is robbery.
It looked like it hit Martin's stick or the skate of Larionov.
I think it just hit as the goaltender's down. Goloshumov's hurt. I don't know if we can have a look at it. We'll look at it later, but I'm telling you, Rick, let's look at it from another angle. You're going to see number 8, Larionov. He's back with Tommy Martin in front of the net, and this puck clearly hits his left leg. And the worst that could have happened, or the best that could have happened, is the fact that Martin might have deflected it after that with his stick. Never, ever touched Tommy Martin's leg.
Under 4 minutes to go, the Whalers have a goal wiped out. They trail 6-2. We're in the second period.
Off everything off, Rick. The face-off's outside, but this was clearly a goal, no doubt about it. You can't argue with the guy, Morozov. I mean, can't understand you anyway. You probably can. He's just going to ignore you.
Konstantinov works the puck to Kamensky, and he's belted by Samuelson, and the Whalers are going to get a penalty for elbowing, and old Samuelson is furious. Now we've got Kamensky and Anderson with the sticks up right in front of the Whaler bench.
is going to go to the penalty box for an elbow. John Anderson signaling that he was high stick. As big Valerie Kaminsky, one of the new big breed we're talking about. Let's watch this go down. Now that's an elbow. Are you kidding? First of all, the elbow never reached the facial area. It was right onto his right shoulder, on Kaminsky's right shoulder. You know what they say, you got to restrain yourself in this game of hockey. No retaliation. I can't say anything else. Very cheap. Well, I guess I'm going to say something else. A very cheap call, and the goal should have counted.
This isn't the first time a call by Mr. Morozov has been questioned over the years that he has worked these international games.
As you said, he travels with the Central Army team, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but he's also in their team picture.
He was on the ice for their practice yesterday, too, over at South Windsor Arena. Here's Bekoff, fourth power play for the Soviets. They scored on their first one. Kote bumps Kamensky. So then Kote gets it back, angles it off the boards and down the ice. I think Mikhail Gorbachev had this in mind with his perestroika and glasnost plans and openness and friendliness between the two superpowers. Tensions are heating up here. Konstantinov checked by Kote. Kamensky bump by Ladiseur. Peterson has the puck. And he'll force the Soviets back.
Back in '74, Rick, 15 years ago, they had a referee. We used to call him Louis Dombrowski. Remember the guy that had the sweet shop in the Bowery Boys? He looked exactly like him. His name was sort of pronounced that way, but we used to call him Louis Dombrowski. Not many breaks you got.
Davidoff lost the handle to Kote, and he'll lift it into the Soviet bench. And on a play with 52 seconds remaining in the Samuelson call, 2:34 remaining in the second period, and the Soviets up by 4.
Look, on this particular power play, the Whalers are doing an excellent job because they're really loading the blue line, forcing the Soviet team to shoot the puck in and chase it. And I don't think the Soviet team is, they're not very practiced at that. I don't think they practice that at all. And this is a good situation for the Whalers if they can succeed in that. The Soviets have not had any time of possession in the end. As you can see, Fedosov is there, the coach there, taking off, saying, explaining the situation to him.
Rather emphatically. Davidoff. Chernik is out on that power play with Zelepukin parked out in front. Davidoff lets it go, deflected, and Sidorkovich caught up to the changeup. Leaves it for Kleinendorst. Darakov couldn't hold it in. 30 seconds to go on the Whaler penalty. Matissa pounded by Evason. Alexander Chernik with a pass ahead to Davidoff. The return to Chernik. Chernik will go after it himself. He's checked by Evason. Chernik prodded away. And the pass hopped over Starakov's stick. The race is on. Scott Young gets there. He was bumped. Centers out in front, just out of Evason's reach. Chernik has Davidoff with a 2-on-1 penalty over. Davidoff goes across, and Kostikin couldn't get the shot away as it hopped off his stick. Pavel Kostikin. Looks for Davidoff. 1:25 remaining here in the second period, and Fetisov will start again at center.
Davidoff's a third-line player.
Kamensky cuts in. Tripped up, gathers himself. He's blasted by McDermott, and the shot is fired over the net by Kostikin.
Davidoff, a third-line player, is very impressive. He's a talented hockey player. Maybe moving up a couple notches in a year or so.
Came on for them last season with more ice time. Ferrara with a pass through the goal mouth. Giberon gets it to Kostikin. Kasatonov gets rid of it. Samuelson plays the man, drops his stick against Kamensky. Kamensky lowers that shoulder, but his pass is intercepted by Ladiseur. Samuelson going right after Giberon. Ladiseur with 32 seconds to go in the period. Soviet Central Red Army defense will start at the head. Igor Larionov with a shot that's tipped by Ladiseur, and it lands out of play with 24 seconds to go here in the second period. The Red Army leads it 6-2. Red Peterson now with McIver and Martin. Samuelson's pass reaching Martin. Adam Burt lifts it ahead. Peterson touches it. The play is offside with 14 seconds remaining here in the second period. Jerry, you mentioned before the game we were watching the warm-up, you said they've got more older players on this squad than you remember the Central Red Army usually traveling with.
Well, Rick, I was thinking, like Makarov and Larionov and certainly Fetisov, they're up around 30s. And, I was thinking, when you get that age in the Soviet Union, you're usually out in pasture, coaching a club team somewhere. Like, for example, Boris Mikhailov, I think he was an older player retired. He was 33 or 34. They let him play because of his great spiritual leadership. He was just a tremendous competitor, and when their team played with spirit, it was because of Mikhailov. But how did you see those guys around there at 30, 31?
Well, the second period comes to an end, and one of the youngsters in their lineup, Sergei Golashumov, skates to the dressing room. He's in front by the count of 6-2. The shots were 8 apiece in the second period. Our second period scoring summary. The Soviets came into the period with a 4-1 lead. They made it 6-1 very shortly as Chernik scored from Igor Stelnov. And then at 5:39, Bykov from Kamensky and Malikov on a power play made it 6-1. Torrey Robertson got one back for the Whalers from Ferraro, and Ulf Samuelsson at 10:13. And 6-2 is where we stand. We'll return you to our Sports Channel studios with Lee Zeidman and Dennis Potvin standing by. For the start of the third period, Jerry, I can't let you get away. You were describing Artur Urbe, the outstanding goaltender for the Dinamo Riga team. The way you were describing it, I would bet Dennis Potvin, looking back at his career, let's see, unorthodox goaltender. Who would that remind me of? Might be you.
No, I think Billy Smith more than me. Dennis would have to say Billy.
But I guess Urbe...
Chubby little guys.
Okay, well, Artur Urbe, I guess, has told people that he copies his style after Jerry Cheevers, which is unusual for Soviet goaltenders because, as you mentioned earlier, they don't usually have the opportunity to show much individuality or flair.
Well, I tell you, he is exciting, Rick. He hounds the puck more than any Soviet goaltender. And if he copies himself after me, he's going to have a tough time making the national team. I think he's going to move up in their system. I'll tell you, I love watching him. Now, this guy right here, Golashumov, I really, question him. This is his first start on the tour. He relieved Michigan, the other goaltender the other night, and played the last 20 minutes in Pittsburgh, I believe it was. And he played pretty solid in that second period. Peter Sidorkiewicz with his new white pads. I hate white pads. I would never wear white pads. They scare me. I always think that the puck could go through them. Morozov, he's kind of scary himself. Now we're talking about that. But
well, the sellout crowd of 15,223 here at the Civic Center readies itself at the start of third period play. Brian Lawton out with Jody Hull and John Anderson. The Whalers have a defensive Samuelsson and Adam Burt. Starikov won the race to the puck, and it's whistled down on the icing call.
Rick, this faceoff is going to be in center. It was icing, but the referee, the linesman, thought that the Soviets touched it first. But in essence, with Brian Lawton down there, there was no icing. But he did call it icing, so the faceoff will be at center again, in case people were wondering. There was a mistake by a linesman and admitted a mistake. That's good. And, they can admit it. At least the faceoff won't be in the Whalers' end.
Starikov starting to play up ice, and it's Sergei Makarov. Makarov, who's been the leading scorer in that Soviet National League 9 of the last 10 seasons. Jerry mentioned he's getting up in years at age 30. Already 13 seasons. Boy, the Soviets start him young in this National League. Just about everybody who's anybody in that league started at 16 or 17 years of age.
That was their 15th year of hockey then also.
Well, Samuelsson backhands the puck down the ice. No icing. Starikov back for it. Anderson trying to play it to Ferraro. It's taken away by Makarov. He gives it to Igor Larionov, talking about playing a lot of years of hockey and getting a little tired of it, perhaps being put out to pasture at a relatively young age. He blames Viktor Tikhonov, the coach, for that, saying that how can you explain a player like Tretiak retiring, and he's only 32 now. You're just tired of hockey. The regime that the Red Army has to go through in being away from their families for 10 months out of the season to play hockey. He says it's wearing on a lot of people. And he says Tikhonov developed robots, not hockey players. Kasatonov with a shot that's deflected up into the crowd. He had those words to say in an open letter in a Soviet publication just back in the fall, and I guess no repercussions from that since.
I was just going to say, Larionov better get ready to retire. He'll be teaching hockey somewhere where it's very cold.
Young Peter Sidorkovich at 25, facing the Soviets for the first time in his career at any level. Oilers down 6-2 early here in the third period. Dave Tippett makes the pass to Paul McDermott. So that Cote. His pass went awry, no icing though. Ferraro slips in there for it, fires in front, it hit Beekoff. McDermott shoots and he chopped it wide. He muscled little Beekoff out of the way and then just missed the net. Beekoff checked by Cote. Vyacheslav Beekoff, a 9-year veteran, only 28. He's it for Kamensky. Beekoff shoots, a save by Sidorkovich. Cote moves it to Tippett. He'll slide it past Kasatonov, and Gusarov is back.
Ferraro, Tippett, and McDermott have been a strong line for the Whalers tonight. One of the reasons is the aggressiveness of Paul McDermott. More hits tonight than we've seen in a long time by an individual in the Whalers.
Malakoff. Filipukin, who scored early in the hockey game. In fact, he got the first Soviet goal. He's held up as Brent Peterson shoots the puck back in. Malakoff out for Davidoff. Kind of a free spirit on this club. Said after the game in Pittsburgh on Wednesday night, yeah, I'd like the opportunity to play on Mario Lemieux's line. Might have to wait in line for that chance.
I'll tell you one thing, I don't know if Mario wanted it that way. Davidoff, he's a good guy to have for Mario Lemieux.
I don't believe he's been drafted. So GMs take note, and I'm sure they have. Now they've got Malakoff and Martin ready to go. At least Martin is. Malakoff decides he doesn't want to drop the gloves and stick as they were working each other over pretty good in front of goalie Schumach.
This started right at the beginning of the shift as Martin hit Malakoff, and they're going up the ice. Malakoff is giving him the eye, the evil eye all the way up. But Tommy Martin in some pain.
We've played just over 3 minutes here in the third. 6-2, the Red Army in front. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America.
You'll see in front of the net, get involved. Martin's the instigator somewhat here, but Malakoff gets that stick in the stomach area a little bit. They both should get 2 minutes for roughing. Maybe it was the NHL in a big game there. Tommy would have got the extra 2 minutes, but Morozov is in control.
Wolf Samuelson paired with Adam Burt. On the Whaler defense, Scott Young works up front with Dean Evison and Torrey Robertson. Burt lays it out for Robertson, and the Soviets get it back, but Tisov. The pass that goes awry in that Hartford zone. Adam Burt flips it into the Soviet zone, and Fetisov, in the Soviet equivalent of the Hall of Fame already while still a player, he's an honored master of the sport. Ian Kasatonov with that distinction.
Right up, point!
Samuelson moves it out to Scott Young. Soviets keep it in. Here's a shot by Kamensky, a save by Sidorkovich. Kamensky gets it back again. Hooks it in front, and Torrey Robertson, who has one of the Whaler goals, hits Samuelson with a pass. Only with a long drive, it's gloved by goalie Schumach. Fetisov. The lead of Igor Chibarev. Igor Chibarev snaps one off. It's over the net. Cote's pass eludes Young. Makara got to play it in front. He's belted by Ladouceur. Cote set up the winning goal, scored the tying goal, and a come-from-behind win in overtime against the Buffalo Sabres on Wednesday, the Whalers' last league play. Out there on the Whaler defense with Ladouceur. Alexei Gusarov. His pass deflected by Brian Lawton. It's taken by Niemchinev. Kasatonov will start the attack. Just over 5 minutes gone here in the third. Alexei Kasatonov. The pass in the skates of Nemchinev. Gusarov gets it back. Gave it up to Jody Hull. Kasatonov plays it around to his defense partner. Gusarov let it get away. Cote right there for it. Feeds Ferraro. Threads the needle to Tiffany. Score! John Anderson in front. Flips it home, and the Whalers trail 6-3.
You know, Rick, we said at the halfway mark, if the Whalers looked after playing defense, who knows what's going to happen in this game? Well, they haven't allowed a goal since then. They play pretty good hockey. Cote makes a great play in keeping it in, surprising Makarov. And you see the resulting goal by Anderson. He flips it over Golashumov. See the play by Cote to Ferraro, and it hits Kasatonov's skate right up to John Anderson. He flips it up again, up the top, over Golashumov. Well, I tell you, the Ray Ferraro has had a heck of a game tonight.
Whalers looking for another as Ferraro's pass is tipped. Malakoff out to the point. Babbage holds it in. Wrist shot is blocked by Konstantinov. He's checked by Tippett. Well, Ferraro with a goal and 2 assists tonight. McDermott lands the hit. Konstantinov has the puck. Stripped of it by McDermott. Malakoff. To start the rush, McDermott in there thumping bodies again. Tip it over to Babbage, shooting. Saved by Golashumov, and it's handled by Beakoff. Long lead, intercepted by Babbage, and the hand pass is whistled down by the linesman, Mark Vine. 13:50 remaining here in the third period. 6-3, the Red Army in front. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America.
In the second part of this hockey game, the Whalers have been a little ornery with their play. Much more aggressive than they were in the first part of the second period, and hey, it's paying off. They got the Soviet Army team a little leery themselves. They're just they don't know what to expect right now, the Soviets.
Scott Young made a good point in saying that the Soviets like to get you to play their style and try to get you to play at a tempo you're not used to playing. And the Whalers are feeling a little more of the tempo at this point. The Soviets, I guess, are being forced to play a little bit more of the physical style than maybe they'd like. Norm McIver. He's on defense with Adam Burt. Actually up front here with Ulf Samuelsson on the back line. Brent Peterson, McIver, and Martin up front. Burt carries it in, had it poked away. Peterson trying to slip it through to Martin. It's taken away by Kasatonov. The pass skips off Davidoff's stick, and Burt will hunt it down. The Whalers get Young and Torrey Robertson on the ice. Dean Evison will join them shortly. Burt plays the puck away, but Gusarov takes it. The shot by Starikov is played away by Sidorkovich. Cote. And to sneak it past Kostikin. Pass in front, and Kivarev was well tied up. Here's Robertson for the Whalers. Golashumov holds it up at the defense. Cote there to keep it in. Got away to Gusarov. Kostikin. Leaves it at the blue line. Here's the shot that's wide. Sidorkovich plays it away from Kostikin. Hands it to Dean Evison. Young. And it chopped away by Gusarov. The Whalers, though, move it ahead. Dean Evison slips it in deep in the zone. Malakoff's pass knocked down by Robertson. Gusarov moves it to Nemchinev, and he is belted by Dave Babbage. He looked up for the puck, and he found a big Whaler logo right in his face. Kostikin drops it back to Malakoff. Konstantinov plays it out to center, and Babbage takes it there. Looks for Brian Lawton. Lawton stick handles into the zone, trying to beat Konstantinov. The pass hit the back of Malakoff. Tough to get a pass around him. Makarov stick handles his way through. Babbage still plays the man. Sidorkovich moves it around to Anderson. John Anderson's goal at 5:28 from Sivak Kopte and Ray Ferraro. Whalers on the short end of a 6-3 score with 10:50 to go in the third period. Igor Larionov plays it to Konstantinov. Larionov has it again. All the weaving through the high part of that zone. Soviets trying to shake somebody free, but the Whalers playing pretty good defensively, as Jerry noted.
Look, I talked to Dave Teppa before the game, and I said we talked about one of the ways of playing defense against the Soviets, and that's that while they're trying to weave their way through, you got to keep skating. Don't be stopped.
Davidoff cuts and shoots, and it's wide as Bert dove to hook that shot.
And that's what we just saw in that last play. The line of Larionov, Chimnov, and Makarov were trying to set something up, and all the Whalers did was keep skating with them. Nothing happened.
Omatov with a shot that's snuffed out by old Samuelson. Tippett hands it quickly to Paul McDermott. Has to battle his way through. He's held up at the defense by Starikov. He kicks it though to Ferraro. Goal mouth pass. Samuelson to the backhand. His try is played away by Fetisov. Ferraro trying to shovel it home. And Starikov with a goal mouth kept the puck out of the net. Here's Ferraro. Gets it to Samuelson. Starikov sends it out to the point. Ferraro dove to try to hold it in. He could not. 2-on-1. Kamieski back with Omatov. Kamieski shovels it. Backhander is stopped by Sidorkovich. Kamieski slips out in front. He's belted by old Samuelson. Well, the Whalers are going to go down tonight, and they fell behind 6-2 in this hockey game. They appear to be intent on making the Red Army pay for it. They landed some good hits. McDermott, Samuelson, Babbage with one a few moments ago. Jenny Davidoff. Pass to Cherny. Delapukin. He goes down. Davidoff holds the play in.
Hey, Rick, the Soviets right now will be a very happy team if this game was over. It's getting rough down there.
Peterson slips it to McIver. He speeds in. Uzarov catches up to him. It's taken away by Alexander Chernik, who has a goal tonight. Davidoff, young 21-year-old. You mentioned he's increased his production to 16 goals last season with increased playing time, and he's one of their bright hopes.
People might say, Rick, geez, that's not a lot of goals, but it is in the Soviet Union when I think the leading goal scorer is 29 goals.
That's right. Omatov led the league. Didn't even make the All-Star team last year. 8:05 remaining in the third period. 6-3, the Soviets in front. We pause now for a regional break. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America.
Look at the look on them from Chimnov's face. Rick, we mentioned that Andrei Hamatov, the leading scorer last year with 29 goals, you said didn't make the All-Star team in the Soviet National League. That just proves, you got to be a team player to make things there. That's what they're trying to teach.
Well, he also had to beat out his teammate Makarov for that honor. Makarov made it for, I believe, the 10th straight time. Konstantinov just plastered into the boards by Torrey Robertson, and they hold play.
Yeah, one guy's 29 goals and the other guy's 17 or 19 goals. He's the one that's going to make the All-Star team.
Now the Whalers down 6-3 with under 8 minutes remaining. They'll be back in game action, starting a big road trip to Winnipeg, LA, Toronto, and Montreal, starting on Tuesday night at the Winnipeg Arena. Soviets will finish up in Buffalo Monday night, at least the Red Army will. Dinamo Riga, as Lee Zeidman and Dennis Podman have told you, they're completing their tour in Minnesota tonight. Kote works it away. No icing. Konstantinov has to play it. Edison right with him. With the puck, it's Cheeverat. Cheeverat with a shot, and it's deflected away by Scott Kleinendorf. Robertson broke his leg, his right tibia, back in November the 1st in a fight with Mike Lawler in Montreal. Missed 27 games, and this is his return to action tonight. Celebrates with a goal. However, his club is down 3 with 7 minutes to go. Babic to Kleinendorst. Needs some help. Makarov, though, trying to put the pressure on. Sergei Makarov drops it back for Larionov. Anderson kicks it to Brian Lawton. He maneuvers around Starikov, and Larionov sped back defensively. Lawton has it again. Goal-mouth pass ends up on Larionov's stick. It's still up for grabs, and now it's Sergei Starikov, 30-year-old veteran, hands it to Larionov. Babic heads back. Lines it ahead to Brian Lawton. Lawton had a couple of goals, including the game winner against the Sabres on Wednesday night. Here's a pass just out of Makarov's reach. Sidorkovich has to let him go. Sergei Makarov looking for Larionov, waiting, shooting, and it's deflected by Babic just wide. Kamensky in there for the puck. Goal-mouth pass is by the intended receiver as Jody Hull had the play well covered out in front. They were looking for Chibarev. Anderson. And it's taken away by Vyacheslav Fetisov. This pass is out of Kamensky's reach. We'll have an icing call with Samuelson back. 5:40 left. Here in the third, it's 6-3. The Central Red Army in front. We'll pause for a regional break. Vyacheslav Fetisov, he's been called the Bobby Orr of Soviet hockey, Jerry.
Ooh, not so fast. There's only one Bobby Orr. Well, maybe of the Soviet hockey. Could be right, Rick. I'm not overly impressed with him. He's a solid hockey player. Could probably make any team. Certainly would make any team in the National Hockey League. I'm not so sure he'd be an all-star in this league, though.
Who knows? We might get a look at him shortly in the National Hockey League. Apparently, the last approval comes from the Minister of Defense, Dmitry Yazov, as to whether he's going to lead the Soviet Red Army Club or not. He resigned his commission as a major in the Army in July. The Devils and Fetisov thought everything was all set for him to come to the NHL, but at the last minute there was a holdup. And Tikhonov says, hey, I signed my release. It's up to the Minister of Defense, and I guess the whole situation rests in his hands. Here's Gusarov. Pass sailed off the glove of Davidoff to Tippett. 4:43 remaining here in the third period. Whalers down 3. Paul McDermott in on the puck. And worked away by Gusarov. McDermott with a hit. Ferraro goes down to the goal mouth. The Soviet player is in the net. As the Red Army moves it ahead, it's Chernik. Looks for help. Filippukin came up late. Davidoff crunched in there by Martin. Ferraro drives it out to center. Big Malikov holds it up for Chernik. Jenny Davidoff drops it back on the defense. Davidoff on right wing. Actually, it's Zelapukhin, number 10, with the puck. As the swing in, Ladouceur swept the skates out from under him and gathers the puck in. Looks for Peterson. Konstantinov right with him. They continue to wrestle. McIver got it away. Chibarev, though, chipped it back in deep. Kamensky works it along the boards. In for the point. It's Malikov. Oshchikin plastered along the boards by Ladouceur, and the Whalers will ice the puck. And back for it, it's Holmatov to catch up with it. 3:21 remaining here in the third period, 6-3. The Soviets in front. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel America.
The Whalers have accomplished really what they have in the second half of the game, a strong defensive effort for 30 minutes against this high-powered team. And they've had some chances. I mean, that goes along with being ornery and aggressive and taking the body more often. Good second half for the Whalers.
Valery Kamensky. Stick handles in. Puts it out in front. Chibarev had his stick hooked by Emerson, and he couldn't put it home. Robertson has it. Soviets take over. Kamensky has the puck. Out in front, the pass to Chibarev is knocked away. Igor Chibarev hooks it in front. Saved by Sidorkovich, and he makes the stop on the try by Kostikin. Linador's ahead for Robertson. Babic steps ahead in the attack, gets the pass, knocks down the feed. Fetisov was right there. Evison can't center. Sergei Makarov with 2:20 remaining. Leaves his way in, leaves it for Larionov. Across to Nemchinev. 2 Whalers on him. Jerry, we understand next year 4 Soviet teams are going to come over to play games against National Hockey League clubs, and they're supposed to count the standings, if I'm correct in assuming that's official. What do you think of that kind of concept and the encouragement of more and more play between the Soviet Union clubs and the NHL?
Well, it's going to count the standings. I guess I could go for it, because they'd be great hockey games, believe me. But to be truthful, I really could care less where they played the Soviets.
Mariano, shooting save by Sidorkovich, and your feelings for that?
Well, I just don't think you had anything to game. I've been involved with them some time, and it's never in your favor. For some reason, they want everything their own way. But if the points counted, I'll tell you, that'd be a great series.
How about the NHL clubs going to Moscow to play exhibition games over there for a couple of weeks?
You got to be in California or Florida.
You don't want to be a part of that.
No, I don't.
The teams to be involved in that, apparently 2 NHL clubs have not been named officially, though Calgary is often mentioned in conjunction with that. Under a minute to go here in this third period. Vyacheslav Bykov with a power play goal for the Soviets. Dumps it in. Sevankote. McDermott plays it out to center. Here's Holmatov. He's met by Kote, who's played a smart game of defense tonight. Enough not to get caught up in the stick-handling maneuvers of some of these guys, but Kote's played the man straight all night. Here's McDermott. And again, a step on Gusarov, who lands the hit. 15 seconds to go. Holmatov clears it. Here's Zelepukin, 3 seconds remaining. And the Central Red Army is victorious 6-3, and it ups its record of 4-1-1. We'll be back with more after this. As you see, the tradition after these international events, the club shaking hands at center ice, and the Whalers had the lead early in this hockey game, Jerry, as they led on the goal by Ray Ferraro, but the Soviets took control of this one quickly.
Well, you see the tradition, Rick, of shaking hands, first of all, but I don't think the tradition says that you have to shake hands with the referee, as Sergei Makarov did, the captain of the Soviets. He ran right over to him and shook hands. I don't think that goal would have made any difference or the calls. I mean, this was a classy Soviet team that beat the Whalers tonight. There's the goaltender, Goloshumanov, who surprised me a little bit in the second part. Not bad.
Now the Red Army heads off to the dressing room. As we mentioned, they'll be traveling to Buffalo to face the Sabres on Monday night to complete their tour. Our shots in the third period tonight, 6-2 Red Army, 29-17 favoring the Soviets. And the Whalers with the only goal of the third period, John Anderson from Sevankote and Ray Ferraro at 5:28. And that makes for a 6-3 final, the Central Red Army defeating the Hartford Whalers. We'll be back with more from the Civic Center right after this.